Greetings and welcome to a quick overview on using GitHub Classroom and GitHub Desktop to clone and commit your assignments. For any assignment that is code related, which is going to be most of them, there will be a link to a GitHub Classroom assignment. Go to the assignment in question, click on View Instructions, and in addition to the assignment instructions and any notes needed, there will be a GitHub Classroom link. Click on that link to associate your account with that assignment. Now, for the review assignment, you will have to associate your name with it. Make sure that you are selecting the correct name before you click. It's not a big deal if you do accidentally choose the wrong name. I can switch things around. Just let me know if that happens, but just take a moment to make sure that you are on the right name. Now, because I've had to do this demonstration a couple of times, I am having to re-accept the assignment. Normally at this stage here, you would see an option to accept the assignment. So when you accept the assignment, here we go. And this is the page that you will normally see. You won't see that previous one. So click on accept this assignment. It'll take it a moment for it to process, and then you should see this page right here. The easiest way to clone this is to copy this URL from this page. So I'm going to right-click, copy link, and then from here I am going to go to GitHub Desktop. Once in GitHub Desktop, go to File, Clone Repository. Now it'll usually default to github.com. Depending on how many repositories you have, this may or may not be a reasonable way to select it. I always use URL because I have too many repositories. Going to paste in Control-V, that repository name. And it will default to whatever directory you have set for cloning all of your assignments to. Again, remember, this has to clone to an empty directory. So if this clone button is not available, that most likely means that you are trying to clone this to a directory that already has files in it. And you just cannot do that, change where you're sending it to. So I'm going to hit clone. Now, if it brings up this window, which sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, always select for my own purpose. You always want to select the for my own purpose option. Click on continue, and you should be good. Also, if it brings up a window asking you if you want to trust this repository, tell it yes. Now we need to get it open in Eclipse. Remember, you cannot click on this button here, open in Visual Studio Code, because, well, that will open it in Visual Studio Code, not Eclipse. Again, one of the easier ways of doing this is click on Show in Explorer, which will bring up your Explorer window. Click on the location bar here, and then Control-C copy the location. Or I usually prefer to do a Control-X, so that way I've got a visual confirmation that, yes, I did copy it. And then close out that window. Go to Eclipse. File. Open Projects from File System. And then you can either click on the Directory button to navigate to where you cloned your assignment to, or if you followed the previous step, you can paste in the directory path there. No other options need to be selected. Click on Finish. And then you should see it show up here in your list of projects. Expand it out. So expand out the project, expand out source, expand out default package, and then you should see the files associated with the assignment. Make the necessary changes. I always strongly recommend that you run before you ever think about submitting, just to make sure there's no last-minute errors. Once you are satisfied with your work, you can optionally close Eclipse. It is not necessary for this next step, but do make sure your files are saved. Return to GitHub Desktop. Verify that you see the files changed that need to be changed. Put in your summary. Commit. Remember, committing doesn't mean I can see it yet. You have to push in order for me to be able to see it. Now that it is pushed, if you want to verify that it has been pushed correctly, you can click on View on GitHub, and that will open it up in GitHub, and you can click on your file and see and confirm that, yes, the changes that you made are here. Once you are ready for me to look at the assignment, you need to return to GitHub, or not GitHub, Blackboard, and you need to submit something. It doesn't really matter. It can be done, assignment complete, just whatever you want to submit here. Not only does this let me know that the assignment is ready for grading, and you do not need to download, obviously, but upon doing that, that will also unlock anything that is next. In the case of modules, you must complete all assignments before the next module will unlock. And that is the overview for GitHub Desktop. If you run into any issues, please contact your instructor immediately on Blackboard.